Edo State Governor, Monday Okpebholo has said the state government will set up special court for criminal proceedings in line with the existing laws for suspected secret cult members and kidnappers to be conducted within 2 or 3 weeks maximum, and if anyone is found guilty and sentenced to death accordingly, he will sign the death warrant and bring the condemned criminal or criminals to popular Ring Road area in Benin City for public execution so that such action will serve as deterrent to others. The governor, who probably have a good working relationship with one of the former governors of the state that started the recent execution of condemned criminals, Adams Oshiomhole, made this known on Thursday when he visited the headquarters of the Edo State Command of the Nigeria Police Force, wherein some suspected kidnappers allegedly behind the shooting and abduction of a woman at a popular vegetable market along Airport Road in Benin City last Sunday were paraded before the governor and the press. According to the governor, I will set up a special court to try cultists and kidnappers within 2 or 3 weeks, and if found guilty, I would have no regret to sign their warrants. They would be executed at the Ring Road for others to learn a lesson. Don't take my simplicity for granted. For the record, the last time death warrant was signed and condemned criminals executed in Edo State took place around 6 a.m. on December 23, 2016, few weeks after the then governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, took over power and was then still in good working relationship with ex-governor Adams Oshiomhole. 3 death row inmates were executed by hanging, namely, Ogbomoro Omoregie, Apostle Ijin, and Mark Omosohota, and the execution took place at the Oko prison of the Nigerian Correctional Service. The inmates had originally been sentenced to death by military tribunals under the robbery and firearms decree during the era of military rule in Nigeria. Godwin Obaseki carried out the executions despite condemnation from human rights groups, such as the Legal Defense and Assistance Project, LEDAP, who thus petitioned the governor for a stay of execution, saying, these earmarked prisoners were sentenced by military tribunals under the Robbery and Firearms Special Provisions Decree 1971 as amended, in which there was no right of appeal. We have filed an appeal pending at the Court of Lagos seeking order that these prisoners have right of appeal under the 1999 Constitution. Death penalty is not universally prohibited, but the second optional protocol to the United Nations International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights on prohibition of the use of the death penalty asks state parties to amend their laws to abolish death as sentence for crime. Not all states have ratified the protocol. To sign a treaty does not bind the state until it is ratified. Nigeria has not signed it. It would be recalled that before the 2016 last execution of condemned criminals in the state, the immediate past and first execution in Edo State since Nigeria returned to democratic rule in 1999 occurred on June 24, 2013, when former Governor Adams Oshiomhole signed the warrants to hang 4 inmates, Chima Ejiofor, Daniel Nsofa, Osarenwinda Eguokan, and Richard Agagu, at the Benin City Custodial Center along Sapele Road. The execution was the first in Nigeria since the last incident in 2006 after the then Kano State Governor, Ibrahim Shekarau, approved and carried out the execution of 7 condemned criminals. Oshiomhole action faced a lot of backlash from human rights community. Africa Network for Environment and Economic Justice, ANEJ, reiterated that the death penalty is an inhumane form of punishment and continued to advocate that Nigeria's laws should be amended to replace capital punishment with life imprisonment, even for high-level offenses like corruption, while Amnesty International declared the executions a truly dark day for human rights in Nigeria, and criticized Oshiomhole for ignoring the pending judicial appeal processes. Other human rights organizations filed appeals and public campaigns, urging the Edo State government to halt the execution of the inmates because their legal options were not fully exhausted, but all to no avail as the condemned criminals were still executed. Defending his action, the then Governor Oshiomhole said, I have no apologies because I did not sentence them to death. I am not the one who accused them. They were accused by those they harassed. They have been tried. They have taken advantage of the appellate courts all the way to the Supreme Court, and they were found guilty. The law also says having been found guilty and sentenced to death, the governor could exercise prerogative of mercy, but I say that I have no mercy on those who kill. Why should you compel me to have mercy on those who kill? In this battle of values, we must not behave as if some other people's values are superior to ours. If you feel that those who kill in your country should have right to life, and we believe in our country that those who kill should be killed, and those are reflected in our laws, until you reverse those laws will apply. If you tell me that the man who killed has a right to life, I refuse that. Amnesty should not be hypocritical about it. We have the records worldwide. Nations are governed by the national values, and it is debatable whether those who excuse murderers in the eyes of God are better human beings than those who insist that if you kill, you too should be killed if found guilty of killing. I don't believe that those who want to excuse murderers are on a higher moral ground. It is not about conviction but about whether I choose to exercise prerogative of mercy. God can have mercy on them, but I am unable, having regard to the overall circumstances of the case, which are killing and dismembering the body of the victim and wanting to sell some of the parts, and some people ask me in the name of human rights to let him live. No, if those saying that were to be victims of such brutality, they would also think otherwise. It is very convenient for them to sit in the comfort of their offices and pontificate about human rights, as if the rights of the victims are not supposed to be taken into account. Parading the suspects, the police said the woman kidnapped at the vegetable market was rescued, but one of the suspects in a video confession said the woman was released after the family paid 8 million naira's ransom. According to the suspect, who identified himself as a 32-year-old Marvelous Isaac from Akwa Ibom State, the ransom money was shared among themselves and some parts given to leaders of a particular community around a Kenwan road axis, saying they gave some parts of the money to the community leaders because the community guns and bullets were parts of the weapons they used in carrying out the crime. Police said another suspect was killed during an exchange of gunfire with the security operatives. According to the police, items recovered from the suspects include a red Lexus RX 350 allegedly used for the operation, a pump-action shotgun, live cartridges, a motorcycle, and over 2 million naira suspected to be proceeds from the crime, including ransom paid by the victim's family. Adding, investigations are ongoing as efforts intensified to track down other members of the kidnapping syndicate. Governor Monday Okpebholo gave a cash reward estimated to be more than 10 million nairas to the police officers that participated in the special operations. Verbatim, Governor Okpebholo said, "Today at the Edo State Police Command Headquarters, I reaffirmed my administration's unwavering commitment to securing our state and protecting law-abiding citizens. Following the kidnapping incident at the vegetable market in Benin City, I directed security agencies to go after the perpetrators. I am pleased that one suspect has been arrested, another was neutralized during the operation, while efforts are ongoing to apprehend the remaining members of the gang. Let me be clear, Edo State will not be a safe haven for kidnappers, cultists, and other criminals. We are taking decisive steps to strengthen our justice system and ensure that anyone found guilty of these heinous crimes faces the full weight of the law." I also commended and rewarded the police officers whose professionalism and bravery led to the arrest of the suspect. Their dedication reflects the results we can achieve when government and security agencies work together with purpose. I urge all Edo people to remain vigilant and continue providing useful information to security agencies. Together, we will make Edo safer, stronger, and more prosperous for everyone. In an earlier event, Governor Okpebholo said criminals in the state are the ones recruiting people from outside the state to come and commit crime in the state, calling on members of the Christian community never to beg police to set free any SSO arrested for any kind of sime in the state. Yesterday, at the Christian Association of Nigeria Ministers Conference in Benin City, I reiterated a message that remains central to our administration's agenda. The security of lives and property is non-negotiable. My administration is deploying every available resource and working closely with security agencies to ensure that criminal elements have no place in Edo State. Anyone found engaging in kidnapping, armed robbery, cultism, or any other criminal activity will face the full weight of the law. However, Security is not the responsibility of government alone. It is a collective duty. I urge all Edo people to remain vigilant and cooperate with security agencies. If you see something, say something. Timely information can help prevent crime and save lives. Together, we will continue to build a safer, stronger, and more prosperous Edo state for all, Governor Okpebholo stated.
Now we are going to set up a special court to try kidnappers and cultists. Within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we are done with it. And I will sign it, the execution, hanging. I will take you to the roundabout, that is Ring Road roundabout, so that the whole Edo people will see you. And this, I will not have any regret about it. So please don't take my simplicity for granted. Thank you. We are in the bush day and night to make sure that these criminals do not settle down in this state. We are arresting people every now and then. Even yesterday night, day before yesterday night, 3 nights ago, criminals have been arrested. But one thing is this, our own people are also now getting involved. In Ekoma this morning, people that were arrested were not Fulanis. At Uromi, 3 nights ago, somebody that was arrested is never a Fulani man. Somewhere in Ewora, somebody that was arrested were never Fulani. But you know one funny thing is that our people will now go to the north to go and recruit people to come here to help them do the job. They will kidnap somebody and give it to them in the bush. Why tomorrow you will see them driving an expensive car? You will see them doing this. You will see them building houses. Pastors, I want to beg you in the name of God. Please, when you hear that I get somebody, don't come to beg me. Because our land must be safe. By the grace of God, Edo must be safe.
The cartridge where not they do the operation, the remaining one where keep it.
Yes. I forgot to say because when I want to give you the sense of the gun, I realized not to forget.
Okay, how many is forget for that?
2.
Okay. You are conscious. Open the door.
The tire blow. The fair hold the man, drag the man. Man of you go inside. Man of you go inside.
I am not go inside. So may I start there? May I start inside here?
Yes.
Okay.
Man follow the fight too.
Okay. I don't see one. Okay, there too. Now be this. Now be this. Another one see the. Okay.
Now come to the give us.
Huh?
Give us.
How many? Liberty.
Now be CSO.
Okay, CSO name the Liberty. Now they give you. Why you can't remain this one?
I don't know. I forget.
He no ask you when you go. When you go submit the gun, give him. He no ask you.
No, but I give that one.
That in board.
That brother with across.
Okay, now you just give her. And they no ask you. No. Say the remaining one.
Forget.
Okay. Oh, Allah. What do you die your name again? I don't forget before me.
What's your name?
Marvelous Isaac.
Marvelous Isaac. You are from where? Which local government? Where do you live? Where in Edo State? Kemaro. What brought you here?
Yes.
The case of kidnapping. Are you a kidnapper?
No, I can't say no.
Did you kidnap somebody?
The guy kind of the tire blow.
Yes, you are who?
The pressure that covered me. The fair hold the man, drag
Your
the
car.
man go.
What?
I want to do something.
What's the make of your car?
Yes, but the man
Which
is
color?
man.
Red. Okay. The vehicle was used to kidnap who? Is it a man or woman?
It's a woman.
Woman.
Woman don't wrong.
Okay. Which day did you people carry out the kidnapping?
No, the woman wrong. But it's not at the beginning. Okay, the woman wrong.
Sunday.
The woman not come back.
Okay. Where is the woman now?
They catch the woman. One dragon from that side.
Your releaser. How much did they pay for ransom?
According to the pressure, said the money was 8 million.
8 million. How much reach your hand?
Okay, they catch them dragon.
They catch the woman. See the way they drag her on
Huh?
ground like
1.5. Is it true that you were arrested by the police? When?
That's net.
Yesterday night. Okay, when you were arrested, what was recovered from you? Did the police see for your hand?
Okay, now, community bullet, where they decided to.
Bullets? Cartridges?
Yes,
How many?
it was 2.
2. Where is the gun you're using for the said kidnapping?
If precious identify the guns to CSO,
the other car just come out.
Who is the CSO?
No, the car
What's his name?
Yes.
Liberty. How much will I pay for the renting of the gun?
We have not paid him yet. That was the reason I wanted to go there this morning. I wanted to go to the field this morning so I can go and give him his money.
How much is this money?
And I pop the guy can the tire blow.
How much are the one move on that shit?
And the tire blow.
Okay. Are you aware kidnappings and offenses punishable by law?
Hold the man, drag the man, go.
Yes, I didn't want to involve myself. This is my first
And
time.
the man that the one
How many of you do the
Yes,
kidnapping?
but the man escaped. The man
man
run.
wrong.
Precious and
Wrong.
The man follow the fight too.
wisdom.
How many of you now?
The 4 numbers.
For mention their names.
The woman don't run.
Woman don't wrong. The blessing and the man come in.
I don't know the other person.
No, the woman run. But it's not the
Can I
beginning.
come for later?
Okay, the woman run.
Now your motto they
Come
use.
back. Oh.
How many guns will I
They
get?
catch the woman.
But I want to
dragon from that side.
But according to the precious, he say all don't worry about liberty, which is say many.
Many. When they do when they rent out, they do
Drag
kidnapping.
her for ground like
According to precious, he say the guy that give it to. So now I'm making figure me and say me give him.
Okay, let me make him meet and say me give you
Then give him.
when I do the kidnapping. Alright. Apart from the bullet, what else will recover from your vehicle? Recover money from your vehicle. The money is there among the money you people collected for ransom.
Gently.
the other car just
Now the money wanna part of the money wanna collect for
the
ransom.
car will park here that
Yes.
Where they bring wanna take release the woman, right? Now the part of the money be that.
Osazuwakan Radio, bringing you the news in a more digital way.
It was a double victory for the Nigerian North American diaspora community last week as the Ugolor and Omoregie families celebrated 2 standout scholars, Miss Ajiroghene Miracle Ugolor at York University and Miss Ivie Marianne Omoregie, who studied at Brock University, graduating with first-class honors from the top Canadian universities, as the milestone achievements were anchored by a massive cross-border comrades reunion party that drew family, professionals, and community leaders from across Canada and the United States. The academic festivities officially commenced on June 12, 2026, at the York University graduation ceremonies in Toronto, where Miss Ajiroghene Miracle Ugolor achieved a monumental milestone by graduating with first-class honors in computer science. Miss Ajiroghene Miracle Ugolor, daughter of prominent human rights activist, Reverend David Ugolor, and diaspora figure, Mrs. Ngozi Ugolor, clinched first-class honors in computer science. Her feat was celebrated by attendees as a masterclass in determination, intellectual grit, and a shining example for women in STEM fields. Mrs. Ngozi Ugolor said her daughter, Ajiroghene's outstanding degree is the culmination of years of intense dedication, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. Friends and family at the reunion party described the scholar as exceptionally resilient, focused, and intellectually driven, saying, she distinguished herself in one of the most competitive fields on campus. Adding, as she transitions into the professional space, she is poised to make significant waves in technology, innovation, and global digital transformation. Sharing the academic spotlight was Miss Ivie Marianne Omoregie, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Steve Omoregie, who graduated with first-class honors in nursing from Brock University. In recognition of her stellar character, academic record, and community impact, Omoregie was also awarded the prestigious Spirit of Brock Medal, a high-level distinction celebrating her campus leadership and commitment to service. The double milestone brought together notable diaspora figures and community pillars, including civil society leader Comrade David Ugolor, Jude Mofunai and his wife, Edna, engineer Richard Amode and his wife, Barbara, surveyor Efik, and Afosa Akanjide Kiyode Iasere. Following the formal university ceremonies, the Omoregie family hosted a grand reception in Toronto featuring vibrant music, exceptional hospitality, and intercessory prayers led by engineer Amode. The event transformed into a true reunion of comrades, as guests traveled across several Canadian provinces and US borders to stand in solidarity with the families. We give ultimate praise, honor, and glory to God Almighty for His abundant grace, guidance, and favor throughout this academic journey, the families said in a joint statement. These achievements serve as shining examples of what focus and discipline can accomplish. We are immensely proud as our daughters step into their respective professional careers. According to the renowned global human rights activist, Reverend David Ugolor, the atmosphere on the campus was vibrant and inspiring as proud parents, family members, and friends gathered to witness the culmination of years of dedication, sacrifice, perseverance, and hard work. It was a memorable day filled with gratitude, excitement, and celebration. Adding, the graduation festivities were further enriched by the presence of my in-law, Mr. Jude Mofunai, and his beloved wife, Edna, who, together with friends from various parts of Canada and the United States, attended both the graduation ceremony and the celebration that followed. Their presence added warmth, joy, and a strong sense of family and friendship to the occasion. Continuing, Reverend David Ugolor thanked engineer Richard Amode, who offered heartfelt prayers and words of encouragement during the celebrations, saying, alongside his beloved wife, Mrs. Barbara Amode, they both contributed immensely to the spiritual upliftment and joyful atmosphere of the gathering. Adding, their support, prayers, and goodwill were deeply appreciated by all. While thanking Mr. and Mrs. Steve Omoregie for jointly hosting the celebrants, Reverend David Ugolor said the atmosphere was filled with laughter, excitement, dancing, and heartfelt congratulations as guests celebrated the accomplishments of the graduates. Everyone was delighted to share in the success of Ivie and Agiroghene Miracle, making the event both memorable and inspiring. The hospitality was exceptional, and the warmth and generosity shown by our hosts left a lasting impression on all who attended. Reverend David Ugolor also appreciated Surveyor Efik and Afosa Akanjide Kiyode Iasere for their support and solidarity during the daughters' graduation ceremony, saying, as everyone returns safely to their respective homes, we pray that the Lord will continue to guide, protect, and bless each and every one of you. May He grant journey mercies to all travelers and continue to keep our families united in love, peace, prosperity, and good health.
That the education you have got now, you will use it to accomplish what we did not even accomplish. That's a prayer for you guys. And we ask you to continue to remember your parents who went through hoops to get you here. And may God continue to give you guys the power to do what you wish. And for God to enrich you guys so that you can help your parents the same way they did. All this we ask in the name of our Jesus Christ. Amen. I'm breaking the column now. Yes, the red one is the prayer column. The white one is just to enjoy column. Before I forget, we also have the rectangular. Bodies are long term. And I just don't want to ever talk more.
ABA Marian Omoregie with first class standing. Gianna Ongao, ABA Marian Omoregie with first class standing. Gianna Ongao, ABA Marian Omoregie with first class standing.
Osazuwakan Radio, bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Barely 48 hours after a serving police officer on May 25, 2026 at Uelu area of Agida quarters in Benin City tear gas a resident to death, Matthew Akubo, a tricycle rider who is also said to be an ex-police officer of an elderly age. A more devastating tragedy was apparently averted on May 27, 2026 at the Samuel Ogbomodia Stadium during the 2026 Children's Day celebration when some security operatives used pepper spray on school children who came for the celebration, an action capable of causing death, but the chief medical director, Edo Specialist Hospital, Dr. Antonia Njoku denied and dismissed the claims that about 5 children died as a result of the incident, and the Edo command of the Nigeria police force in a press statement failed to state if there was any death casualty or not, but stated that 4 persons including the seller of the pepper spray chemical substance have been arrested and detained in connection with the Children's Day incident, adding that the policeman who caused the death of the tricycle rider has been in detention waiting to be arraigned for possible act of murder. Our research study shows that a less lethal weapon of chemical substances like tear gas and pepper spray may be seen as an act of deliberate murder or attempted murder if used on a closed range, enclosed environment like hall, big or small, because the chemical substances from our assessment are meant only to be used on a long-range open-air outdoor spaces where people have alternatives means to run and leave the contaminated areas, and in line with global standard on the use of the chemical substances. Tear gas is never meant to be used on vulnerable populations or individuals with medical conditions, as international bodies like the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, OHCHR, and health organizations warn it can cause permanent injury, severe complications, or death. In addition, the chemical causes instant airway constriction that can trigger fatal respiratory failure in people with asthma or COPD, a severe risk that prompted the American Thoracic Society, ATS, to call for a total moratorium on its use, because, simultaneously, the intense physical stress can induce cardiac arrest in those with heart disease, as documented by Physicians for Human Rights, PHR, and according to strict deployment standards from Amnesty International, infants and young children face significantly higher risks because their developing lungs breathe faster, and heavy gas vapors settle near the ground. Pregnant individuals face severe risks of premature labor or miscarriage, a danger highlighted in field reports by National Nurses United and reproductive toxicology data published by the National Institutes of Health, NIH. Also, the elderly suffer prolonged tissue damage due to a reduced physical ability to flee. And finally, the American Lung Association warns that people with eye conditions, especially contact lens wearers, can suffer chemical burns and permanent vision loss from trapped toxins. Though legally, while the Chemical Weapons Convention, CWC, permits domestic law enforcement usage, the UN guidance on less lethal weapons explicitly dictates that police operations must give special consideration to these protected groups to avoid unlawful, disproportionate force. According to some residents who witnessed the incident, the commercial tricycle operator, Matthew Akubo, was killed by the serving police officer at Osabo Lane around Uelu section in Agida area of Benin City, the Edo state capital, when the policeman allegedly used the tear gas on him at a very closed range over a minor argument. The killing prompted the commercial tricycle operators, popularly known as keke riders in the area, to protest and block some sections of the Uelu road in the Agida quarters, demanding justice for their slain colleague. It was gathered that the victim was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead thereafter. Edo State Command of the Nigeria Police Force in a press statement issued on June 1, 2026 and made available by the Command Public Relations Officer, ASP Eno Akiodum stated that, the Edo State Police Command has expressed grave concern over the increasing proliferation, unauthorized possession, and unlawful use of restricted security accoutrements such as pepper spray, tear gas canisters, and other force-related equipment by private individuals, bounces, vigilantes, and unauthorized security outfits within the state. It frowns on the use of such items without proper training, or regard for public safety, thereby endangering innocent lives and creating avoidable public disorder. It would be recalled that on the 25th of May 2026, a police officer attached to the command unlawfully discharged tear gas at Ugolor, Benin City, an incident which unfortunately led to the loss of a life. The officer involved was immediately arrested and subjected to disciplinary and criminal procedures in line with extant laws. Similarly, on the 27th of May 2026, during the Children's Day celebration held at the Samuel Ogbamudia Stadium, Benin City, pepper spray was unlawfully discharged within the stadium premises by private bouncers, causing panic and affecting several children and other attendees of the event. Following diligent investigation into the incident, the command has arrested 3 bouncers connected to the unlawful act, namely, Afenyi John Paul, aged 36 years, Ola Ibekunle, aged 46 years, Onahar Chukwuoji, aged 33 years. Further investigation also led to the arrest of one Mrs. Rebecca Hassan, alleged to be the supplier, seller of the pepper spray used during the incident. The command views the unauthorized use of such devices as assault, or acts capable of causing grievous harm, and in certain circumstances, death. Consequently, unlawful possession of these items with intent to commit felony and other related offenses is viewed as criminal under the law. In view of the foregoing, the Edo State Police Command hereby issues a stern warning to all individuals, private security personnel, bouncers, vigilante groups, and unauthorized organizations in possession of pepper spray, tear gas, or related restricted security equipment to immediately desist from such unlawful possession and usage. Henceforth, any person found in possession of such prohibited or unauthorized police, security accoutrements, including sellers, distributors, and suppliers, will be arrested and prosecuted accordingly. The Commissioner of Police, Edo State Command, CP Monday Agbonika, FDC, reassures residents that the command remains committed to protecting the rights of citizens and will not tolerate any act capable of threatening public peace and safety within the state. Meanwhile, on the Children's Day tragedy, the Office of the Press Secretary to the Edo State Governor in a press release issued on May 28, 2026 and made available by Patrick Akierebajele, the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, the Chief Medical Director, Edo Specialist Hospital, Dr. Antonia Njoku, has clarified the social media reports alleging that 5 pupils died during the Children's Day celebration at the Samuel Ogbamudia Stadium. Njoku made the clarification on Thursday in Benin, while addressing newsmen. Yesterday, May 27th, we were called in for an emergency response and we responded swiftly and appropriately to some of the children which were evacuated by our ambulance to our facility. Resuscitation measures started immediately and to God be the glory, we have no casualty, the children are all stable and we want to thank our governor for his continuous support, she said. Speaking on why the children were seen on the floor of the hospital, Njoku explained that they placed them on the floor for an effective resuscitation which some of the children needed. You needed to put some of these children on hard surfaces to be able to resuscitate them. That's why we even have some of them on the floor. Our goal at that point was to make sure that there was no casualty. We want to use this medium to thank our able governor for his passion for children, she added. In her response, the coordinator, Office of the First Lady of Edo, Mrs. Idasili Okpebholo Anani, noted that she was at the hospital on a fact-finding mission concerning the incident that happened during the Children's Day celebration. I have had a conversation with the CMD, the children are fine and they have been discharged and we are happy. I want to thank the management of the hospital for their swift response. The governor would have loved to be here, but he is out for other official engagements. He had directed that I should come on my fact-finding mission to see what is happening, she said. She, however, described what happened during the Children's Day celebration as unfortunate, but the good news was that response came fast, adding that safety of our children remains the priority of this administration. Also present at the hospital was the special advisor to the Governor on Health, Dr. Iyamu, and the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Mrs. Omoregie. In earlier press release issued on May 27, 2026, Omoregie stated that the Edo state government wishes to address some misleading social media narratives about today's Children's Day incident at the Samuel Ogbamudia Stadium. We hereby reject the sensational interpretations, spins, twists, and misinformation that were dubiously orchestrated to give the government a bad name. The stadium was filled to capacity with thousands of excited children who came to participate in the day's activities. The turnout was unprecedented. All the entrances into the facility were opened for children to access the stadium. Some excited children resorted to unruly behavior at one of the gates, an incident that led to some kind of stampede which necessitated one of the bouncers to deploy the use of tear gas to disperse them. In the course of the pandemonium that ensued, few students sustained injuries. The Deputy Governor, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa, who was physically present at the stadium, rose to the challenge immediately, assisting children with first aids, and those requiring further care were taken to the Edo Specialist Hospital where they received appropriate medical attention and are now safely back home with their families. The Edo state government has already authorized investigations into the incident while the bouncer involved is presently being interrogated by the police to ascertain the immediate or remote cause of the incident. The government wishes to restate its commitment to the safety and security of all, including our children. We, however, call on social media users to refrain from unverified narratives that could cause unnecessary panic. Isolated incidents at large gatherings, while regrettable, do not diminish Governor Okpebholo's commitment to child safety and well-being. The governor's unparalleled investment in education is the reason for the huge attendance by students of different schools in the state to celebrate Children's Day. We thank the security personnel, medical staff, and volunteers for their swift response and dedication to duty. Their immediate response helped to douse the tension. However, the American Lung Association in its report on January 20, 2026, stated in part that crowd control agents, often referred to as tear gas, are chemicals that cause skin, respiratory, and eye irritation. Some of the most common chemicals used are chloroacetophenone, CN, which is a toxic air pollutant, chlorobenzidine CS, chloropicrin, PS, bromobenzalcyanide, Ca, and dibenzoxazepine, CR. While tear gas is typically perceived as causing mostly short-term health impacts, there is evidence of permanent disability in some cases. In general, exposure to tear gas can cause chest tightness, coughing, a choking sensation, wheezing and shortness of breath, in addition to a burning sensation in the eyes, mouth and nose, blurred vision and difficulty swallowing. Tear gas can also cause chemical burns, allergic reactions and respiratory distress. People with pre-existing respiratory conditions, such as asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, have a higher risk of developing severe symptoms of the disease that could lead to respiratory failure. Long-term health effects from tear gas are more likely if exposed for a prolonged period or to a high dose while in an enclosed area. In these instances, it can lead to blindness, glaucoma or respiratory failure, possibly resulting in death. If exposed to tear gas, the American Lung Association advises you to immediately distance yourself from the source and seek higher ground, if possible. Flush your eyes with water and use a gentle soap, such as baby shampoo, to wash your face to reduce skin and eye irritation. Cut your clothes off rather than pulling them over your head to remove. Leaving the area immediately for fresh air should help relieve respiratory symptoms you may experience. If you are living with chronic lung disease, or are experiencing lasting or worrisome symptoms, let your healthcare provider know about your exposure. If breathing trouble persists or worsens, seek medical attention immediately.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum may have given a clearer picture and addressed some fundamental issues in the press release issued by the Nigerian Army on Saturday that caused mixed reactions among members of the public, especially Borno youths under the umbrella body of Borno South Youth Alliance, Bossia, who had condemned the military for saying in the press release that its men rescued 360 out of the 416 women and children held hostage by the Boko Haram terrorists based on intelligence-driven efforts that made the terrorists to flee and abandon their victims upon citing the superior power of the men of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, with some of the terrorists arrested, but the state governor, Babagana Zulum, while speaking during his assessment visit to Pulka community on Monday, said 434 victims out of the total numbers of people kidnapped early this year in Ngosh community by the Boko Haram terrorists have regained freedom, specifically stating that 357 captives walked free in the latest coordinated effort. Other captives had been released in phases over the preceding months, bringing the total number of freed captives to 434. We had reported that youths in Borno State under the umbrella body of Borno South Youth Alliance, Bossia, has insisted that the federal government of Nigeria under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did nothing to secure the release of the 416 women and children held hostage by Boko Haram terrorists for more than 90 days. They were taken into the bush since March 2026. Also, the youth group dismissed and rejected the report of the Nigerian army, who had alleged that its men rescued 360 out of the 416 people held hostage through intelligence-driven efforts, saying they have an audio record of the conversation they had with the Boko Haram terrorists on Friday, June 5, 2026, before the Boko Haram terrorists decided to release the captives willingly, adding, if they paid ransom, they should come out and tell Nigerians, which we have the full details if ransoms was paid or not, as Senator Ali Ndume automatically started thanking President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Is there something Nigerians need to know that is hidden? It may be recalled that we have reported that barely a day after President Donald Trump of the United States of America, the USA announced the killing of Abu Bilal al-Minuki, the second in command of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, ISIS, in a joint operation with Nigeria soldiers in Borno State. A new video of the abducted 416 women and children in Boko Haram captivity has been released, in addition to a gory video earlier released by the terrorists wherein they beheaded almost 6 men who the insurgents said tried to escape among the kidnapped victims. This had led to public outcry and demonstrations. But according to Punch newspaper, protesters are reportedly denied the rights to protest in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, saying the army reportedly deployed tanks and heavily armed personnel to Filling Polo, the venue of the recent planned protest, forcing the demonstrators to withdraw, quoting Samela Kaigama, leader of the protesters, as saying, the atmosphere created by the military deployment made it impossible for citizens to continue with the demonstration, that the development is deeply disturbing in a constitutional democracy. It may also be recalled that we had reported that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria may have kept mute since more than 48 hours. A faction of the Boko Haram terrorists showed off 416 people, mostly women and children, kidnapped and held hostage when the members of the Jama'atu Ali Sunnah Lidawati wal Jihad, JAZ, launched a large-scale combat actions between 4th to the 6th of March 2026 against the men of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, overran the Africa country military base at Ngosh, killing several soldiers, a figure the Nigeria Authority disputed to be 14 after several reports indicated that more than 40 soldiers were killed during the attack, in addition to more than 100 civilians, including Chief Imam of Ngosh alongside the community elders, killed during the coordinated attacks that lasted days at Ngosh community in Gwoza local government area of Borno State. During the attacks, Numbers of people were also taken hostage by the insurgents, with speculations indicating that the hostages are apparently being held at the rugged terrain of the Mandara Mountains, which sit wide across the Nigeria border with Cameroon. In the released video, one of the spokespersons of the Boko Haram group said they decided to release a proof-of-life video of the 416 women and children in their captivity, following the demands made across to them by the Borno South Youths Alliance, BOSYA, and according to the statement issued by the Bosya when they made the video public on Friday, April 10, 2026. The youths group called on federal government and governments at all levels to ensure the hostages are released, saying specifically that, "We have witnessed cases in states such as Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, and Kebbi where abducted victims regained freedom following interventions by individuals such as Sheikh Ahmed Gumi. We therefore expect equal urgency and commitment in addressing the plight of the Ngosh victims. No region or group of citizens should be treated with less priority." Dauda Aliya, the spokesperson and media advisor to the Borno state governor, in a news release he issued and made available some hours ago, said the Borno state governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, has lauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his role in securing the freedom of 434 residents of Ngosh community, who were abducted over a year ago during a violent raid on the town. Speaking in Pulka on Monday, Governor Zulum confirmed that the latest release comprises 357 persons, while approximately 82 others had regained their freedom spontaneously in smaller batches over the period since their abduction. The victims were originally taken from Ngosh, a border town in Gwoza local government area of Borno state, following an attack by suspected Boko Haram insurgents early this year. Zulum particularly praised President Tinubu for his personal intervention and commitment towards restoring peace, which he said accelerated the negotiation and rescue process. "I want to express my deepest appreciation, on behalf of the government and people of Borno State and Gwoza community in particular, to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for all the efforts that he has been making in ensuring the return of peace and stability not only to Borno State but to the entire country," Zulum stated. Zulum also extended commendations to the Nigerian military, the Department of State Services, DSS, and all other security agencies involved in the operation, acknowledging their professionalism and coordination. "I also want to use this opportunity to commend the Nigerian Armed Forces, the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Department of State Security and all other security agencies, including our gallant civilian JTF, forest guards, vigilante and hunters, who have participated immensely in ensuring the release of these abducted men, women and children," Zulum added. He explained that while 357 captives walked free in the latest coordinated effort, other captives had been released in phases over the preceding months, bringing the total number of freed captives to 434. "We are here to felicitate with Ngosh community following the release of the abducted women and children numbering about 434. What we saw this morning is about 360 released 2 days ago. But some 2 to 3 weeks ago, we also received about other persons, totaling about 434, Zulum explained. According to the governor, government has released millions of naira to rehabilitate the Ngosh community. So far, the work is nearly complete. We are also interfacing with the community about their return to Ngosh. Those that are willing to return, we are working with the Nigerian military to establish institutional arrangements that will ensure their safe and dignified return." Zulum also directed the distribution of relief materials, comprising food and non-food items, to all the released persons as part of the immediate intervention. The rescued individuals are currently receiving medical and psychological support in a government facility, after which they will be reintegrated into their communities. It would be recalled that the Nigerian army in a press statement titled, "Operation Haddon Kai executes unprecedented intelligence-led rescue operation, frees 360 abductees from Jazz stronghold in the Mandara Mountains," had stated that, in one of the most significant hostage rescue operations conducted in the Northeast Theater in recent times, troops of the Joint Task Force, Northeast, Operation Hadamkai, OPHK, comprising Special Forces and troops of Sector 1, have successfully rescued 360 abductees from a heavily fortified Jama'atu Ali's Sana Lidawati Wal Jihad, Jazz, enclave deep within the Mandara Mountains area of southern Borno state. The operation, which was the culmination of weeks of painstaking intelligence preparation, covert reconnaissance, and operational planning, resulted in the safe recovery of men, women, and children who had been held in captivity under harsh conditions after being abducted from several communities, particularly within the Ngosh axis. The successful rescue underscores the growing operational reach, intelligence dominance, and tactical superiority of OPHK in denying terrorists freedom of action and protecting vulnerable populations across the theater. The operation was initiated following the receipt of credible and corroborated intelligence from multiple sources indicating the precise location of the hostages and the existence of an elaborate insurgent support network sustaining the enclave. OPHK intelligence elements subsequently launched an extensive target development process involving the integration of human intelligence, HUMINT, signals intelligence, SIGINT, and persistent intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance (ISR) operations conducted through unmanned aerial systems and long-range reconnaissance patrols. Through sustained intelligence collection and analysis, commanders developed a comprehensive understanding of the terrain, insurgent disposition, defensive arrangements, movement patterns, and the condition of the abductees. This intelligence-driven approach enabled the force to accurately map the objective area, identify vulnerabilities within the terrorist network, and significantly reduce risks to the hostages during the rescue mission. A decisive breakthrough was achieved through the successful penetration of the terrorist network by carefully cultivated intelligence assets operating under the supervision of OPHK military intelligence personnel. These assets provided timely and actionable intelligence regarding the exact locations of the abductees, the disposition of insurgent commanders, internal security measures, and planned relocation routes. Simultaneously, carefully coordinated information and psychological operations created uncertainty and mistrust within the insurgent ranks, degrading their cohesion and disrupting command and control arrangements. The resulting intelligence advantage provided OPHK with unprecedented situational awareness and enabled commanders to shape the operational environment well before the commencement of the assault phase. Acting on confirmed intelligence, OPHK Special Forces and troops of Sector 1 launched a meticulously coordinated multi-axis operation designed to isolate the objective area, dominate key terrain, and prevent insurgent reinforcement or withdrawal. Supported by real-time ISR feeds, assault forces infiltrated the objective area under the cover of darkness while blocking forces established positions along likely escape routes. The operation achieved complete tactical surprise, overwhelming the terrorists before an organized response could be mounted. Faced with the speed, precision, and overwhelming combat power of the advancing troops, several insurgents abandoned their positions and fled into surrounding mountainous terrain, while others surrendered. The hostages were swiftly secured, medically screened, and evacuated from the objective area. Regrettably, 2 infants succumbed to exhaustion occasioned by the extremely challenging mountainous terrain and the hardships endured during the prolonged captivity. The remaining rescued abductees were successfully evacuated to safe locations for medical care and humanitarian support, marking a major operational success and a significant setback for the terrorist group. The military high command has commended the courage, professionalism, and exceptional discipline displayed by all personnel involved in the operation. The military high command noted that the successful rescue of 360 abductees reflects the effectiveness of intelligence-led operations, the growing synergy among security stakeholders, and the unwavering resolve of the armed forces of Nigeria to protect innocent citizens and restore lasting peace to affected communities. The military high command further reassured the public that aggressive follow-on exploitation and clearance operations are ongoing to neutralize residual terrorist elements, dismantle remaining support networks, and prevent future abductions. The military stated as signed and made available by Lieutenant Colonel Haruna Sani, the acting media information officer. Joint Task Force, Northeast, Operation Haddon Kai. President of Borno South Youth Alliance, Sumaila Kigama had in a number of press releases refuted the claim that the 360 women and children were rescued, saying, he had an audio conversation with the Boko Haram terrorists on Friday, and during the conversation, the Boko Haram terrorists agreed to set free the captives with some still held hostage, hoping to be released on later date.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Youths in Borno State under the umbrella body of Borno South Youth Alliance. Bosnia has insisted that the federal government of Nigeria under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did nothing to secure the release of the 416 women and children held hostage by Boko Haram terrorists for more than 90 days. They were taken into the bush since March 2026. Also, the youth group dismissed and rejected the report of the Nigerian army, who had alleged that its men rescued 360 out of the 416 people held hostage through intelligence-driven efforts, saying they have an audio record of the conversation they had with the Boko Haram terrorists on Friday, June 5, 2026, before the Boko Haram terrorists decided to release the captives willingly, adding, if they paid ransom, they should come out and tell Nigerians, which we have the full details if ransoms was paid or not, as Senator Ali Ndume automatically started thanking President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Is there something Nigerians need to know that is hidden? It may be recalled that we have reported that barely a day after President Donald Trump of the United States of America, the USA announced the killing of Abu Bilal al-Minuki, the second in command of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, ISIS in a joint operation with Nigeria soldiers in Borno State. A new video of the abducted 416 women and children in Boko Haram captivity has been released, in addition to a gory video earlier released by the terrorists wherein they beheaded almost 6 men who the insurgents said tried to escape among the kidnapped victims. This had led to public outcry and demonstrations, but according to Punch newspaper, protesters are reportedly denied the rights to protest in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, saying, the army reportedly deployed tanks and heavily armed personnel to Filling Polo, the venue of the recent planned protest, forcing the demonstrators to withdraw, quoting Sumaila Kigama, leader of the protesters, as saying, the atmosphere created by the military deployment made it impossible for citizens to continue with the demonstration, that the development is deeply disturbing in a constitutional democracy. It may also be recalled that we had reported that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria may have kept mute since more than 48 hours. A faction of the Boko Haram terrorists showed off 416 people, mostly women and children, kidnapped and held hostage when the members of the Jama'atu Ali Sunnah Lidawati wal Jihad, JAZ, launched a large-scale combat actions between 4th to the 6th of March 2026 against the men of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, overran the Africa country military base at Ngosh, killing several soldiers, a figure the Nigeria Authority disputed to be 14 after several reports indicated that more than 40 soldiers were killed during the attack, in addition to more than 100 civilians, including Chief Imam of Ngosh alongside the community elders, killed during the coordinated attacks that lasted days at Ngosh community in Gwoza local government area of Borno State. During the attacks, numbers of people were also taken hostage by the insurgents, with speculations indicating that the hostages are apparently being held at the rugged terrain of the Mandara Mountains, which sit wide across the Nigeria border with Cameroon. In the released video, one of the spokespersons of the Boko Haram group said they decided to release a proof of life video of the 416 women and children in their captivity, following the demands made across to them by the Borno South Youth Alliance, Bosnia, and according to the statement issued by the Bosnia when they made the video public on Friday, April 10, 2026. The youths group called on federal government and governments at all levels to ensure the hostages are released, saying specifically that, we have witnessed cases in states such as Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, and Kebbi, where abducted victims regained freedom following interventions by individuals such as Sheikh Ahmed Gumi, we therefore expect equal urgency and commitment in addressing the plight of the Ngosh victims. No region or group of citizens should be treated with less priority. Nigerian Army, in a press release issued and made available on Saturday by Lieutenant Colonel Haruna Sani, the acting media information officer of Northeast Operation Haddon Kai Joint Task Force, said, and in quotes, that in one of the most significant hostage rescue operations conducted in the Northeast Theater in recent times, troops of the Joint Task Force, Northeast Operation Haddon Kai, OPHK, comprising Special Forces and troops of Sector 1, have successfully rescued 360 abductees from a heavily fortified Jama'atu Ali's Sana Lidawati Wal Jihad, Jazz, enclave deep within the Mandara Mountains area of southern Borno state. The operation, which was the culmination of weeks of painstaking intelligence preparation, covert reconnaissance, and operational planning, resulted in the safe recovery of men, women, and children who had been held in captivity under harsh conditions after being abducted from several communities, particularly within the Ngosh axis. The successful rescue underscores the growing operational reach, intelligence dominance, and tactical superiority of OPHK in denying terrorists freedom of action and protecting vulnerable populations across the theater. The operation was initiated following the receipt of credible and corroborated intelligence from multiple sources indicating the precise location of the hostages and the existence of an elaborate insurgent support network sustaining the enclave. OPHK intelligence elements subsequently launched an extensive target development process involving the integration of human intelligence, HUMINT, signals intelligence, SIGINT, and persistent intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance (ISR) operations conducted through unmanned aerial systems and long-range reconnaissance patrols. Through sustained intelligence collection and analysis, commanders developed a comprehensive understanding of the terrain, insurgent disposition, defensive arrangements, movement patterns, and the condition of the abductees. This intelligence-driven approach enabled the force to accurately map the objective area, identify vulnerabilities within the terrorist network, and significantly reduce risks to the hostages during the rescue mission. A decisive breakthrough was achieved through the successful penetration of the terrorist network by carefully cultivated intelligence assets operating under the supervision of OPHK military intelligence personnel. These assets provided timely and actionable intelligence regarding the exact locations of the abductees, the disposition of insurgent commanders, internal security measures, and planned relocation routes. Simultaneously, carefully coordinated information and psychological operations created uncertainty and mistrust within the insurgent ranks, degrading their cohesion and disrupting command and control arrangements. The resulting intelligence advantage provided OPHK with unprecedented situational awareness and enabled commanders to shape the operational environment well before the commencement of the assault phase. Acting on confirmed intelligence, OPHK Special Forces and troops of Sector 1 launched a meticulously coordinated multi-axis operation designed to isolate the objective area, dominate key terrain, and prevent insurgent reinforcement or withdrawal. Supported by real-time ISR feeds, assault forces infiltrated the objective area under the cover of darkness, while blocking forces established positions along likely escape routes. The operation achieved complete tactical surprise, overwhelming the terrorists before an organized response could be mounted. Faced with the speed, precision, and overwhelming combat power of the advancing troops, several insurgents abandoned their positions and fled into surrounding mountainous terrain, while others surrendered. The hostages were swiftly secured, medically screened, and evacuated from the objective area. Regrettably, 2 infants succumbed to exhaustion occasioned by the extremely challenging mountainous terrain and the hardships endured during the prolonged captivity. The remaining rescued abductees were successfully evacuated to safe locations for medical care and humanitarian support, marking a major operational success and a significant setback for the terrorist group. The military high command has commended the courage, professionalism, and exceptional discipline displayed by all personnel involved in the operation. The military high command noted that the successful rescue of 360 abductees reflects the effectiveness of intelligence-led operations, the growing synergy among security stakeholders, and the unwavering resolve of the armed forces of Nigeria to protect innocent citizens and restore lasting peace to affected communities. The military high command further reassured the public that aggressive follow-on exploitation and clearance operations are ongoing to neutralize residual terrorist elements, dismantle remaining support networks, and prevent future abductions. The Nigeria military statement ends in quotes. Immediately, the Borno South Youth Alliance, Bosya, responded and said, Borno South Youth Alliance, Bosya, through its president, brought the issue of the 416 women and children kidnapped by Boko Haram sometimes around March 2026 to light, put in every necessary bravery-related efforts and got his requests granted, which one was to make a video, proof of life. At first they were not willing to negotiate or discuss, but after extensive discussions and acknowledgement of our efforts towards the grassroots, the Imam, top command, agreed, and we had talks for weeks. Bosya will be releasing or has released voice notes of our final discussions, which was done Friday 5th of June 2026, and Nigerians will clearly hear them admit the reasons they released them and how Borno South Youth Alliance, Bosya, President Sumaila Ibrahim Kaigama's efforts made them agree to release the kidnapped victims, contrary to what some media outlets are carrying about a rescue or government boys and followers are claiming glory for our efforts. If they paid ransom, they should come out and tell Nigerians, which we have the full details if ransom was paid or not, as Senator Ali Ndume automatically started thanking President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Is there something Nigerians need to know that is hidden? Only Bosya President knows the hidden facts, and hopefully he is ready to talk about some secrets that might shake Nigeria and possibly the world. In another press release, the group said that Borno South Youth Alliance, Bosya, is happy to announce to the general public that our cries, advocacy, and efforts regarding the Ngosh 416 women and children have begun to yield positive results. Yesterday, through the efforts of our President, Sumaila Ibrahim Kaigama, communications were held, and we were informed that most, if not all, of the victims would be released. As you read this message, that process has already begun. Before any politician or political personal assistants claim glory for this development, we will back our efforts with voice notes 24 hours plus before their release. Watch them claim glory for zero efforts. We are happy and grateful that, through our efforts, our persistent cries, and long discussions, the results are now being seen. The Bosya President has been a solid force behind these humanitarian mediations, negotiations, and discussions, and this is what leadership is about, standing for the people, speaking for the voiceless, and working tirelessly to save lives. To the Ngosh women and children who were released tonight, welcome home. Your return brings hope, joy, and relief to southern Borno. We also call on the federal government, Borno state government, and the relevant local government authorities to properly screen.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Lebanon is a sovereign country that has been a founding member of the United Nations since 1945, but, on several occasions, Israel has made an attempt to be in control of some areas of the sovereign nation. Lebanon, which is a small country of approximately 10,500 square kilometers, out of which about 3,000 square kilometers are perhaps currently under the control and capture of Israeli armed forces since the State of Israel began the War of Redemption in 2025, a military operation targeting Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon, which the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, in a nationwide video broadcast on Sunday, said, over 8,000 Hezbollah fighters have been killed, ordered Israeli troops to expand more into Lebanon, and commended men and women of the Israel Defense Forces of retaking or recapturing Beaufort, a 900-year-old castle city in Lebanon that perched on a high ridge overlooking the Litani River Valley with a good tactical and strategic military viewpoint over southern Lebanon, the western Bekaa Valley and northern Israel. the highly valued military fortress was previously occupied by Israel between 1982 and year 2000, and its reoccupation by Israel on Saturday night has triggered emergency United Nations Security Council meeting. According to the French Foreign Minister, Jean-Noël Barrot, France has called for emergency UN Security Council meeting over Israel expansion into more Lebanon's territory, stating to BFM TV News Network on Sunday that while France recognizes Israel's right to self-defense, nothing can justify the continuation of Israeli military operations in Lebanon and its ever deeper occupation of Lebanese territory, and Israel Defense Forces, IDF, in a statement on Sunday via its social media handles, said, "These are photos from the precise IDF operation in the Beaufort Ridge and Wadi Saluki area in southern Lebanon. IDF troops located weapons in the village of Zortar al-Shakia, further proof of Hezbollah's presence inside civilian areas in southern Lebanon." Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the nationwide broadcast said, and in quotes, that, "Last night, our heroic fighters captured the Beaufort Castle. They proudly raised the flag of the State of Israel and the flag of the Golani Brigade there. I remind you that 44 years ago, this place was a symbol of a heroic battle by our fighters, but it was also a symbol of deep division among us. Today, we return to Beaufort differently. We returned united, determined, and stronger than ever. I spoke with the fighters on the northern border on Friday. They told me, tell the people of Israel what we are doing here. Prime Minister, the public doesn't know what achievements we have made. Well, since the beginning of the War of Redemption we have eliminated 8,000 Hezbollah terrorists. Since Operation Roaring Lion 3,000. In the past month alone 700. This is more than everyone we eliminated during the Second Lebanon War. I have instructed the IDF to expand the incursion in Lebanon. Our forces have crossed the Litani River. They took dominant terrain. They captured the Beaufort Ridge. And now my instruction is to deepen and expand our hold on places that were under Hezbollah's control. The capture of Beaufort is a dramatic stage and a dramatic change in the policy we are leading. We have broken the barrier of fear. We are taking the initiative. We are operating on all fronts. In Syria, in Gaza, in Lebanon. We have established security zones beyond our borders to protect our communities. On Friday, I spoke with the brigade commanders. They're daring brigade commanders, inside the territory, leading the heroic soldiers. And they told me, Prime Minister, we are carrying out the mission. We are charging forward, and Hezbollah is fleeing for its life. And I told them, I am with you. The entire nation of Israel is with you. It will take more time, but we will restore security to the residents of the north, just as we did for the residents of the south. It will take time, but we will complete the mission. Israel Defense Forces in a separate post on Sunday stated that the IDF launched an operation, beginning a few days ago, in the Beaufort Ridge and Wadi al-Saluki area in southern Lebanon in order to dismantle terrorist infrastructure, eliminate terrorists and remove direct threats to Israeli civilians. The operation is focused on establishing operational control of the Beaufort Ridge and the Wadi al-Saluki area, as well as degrading Hezbollah and dismantling terrorist infrastructure that was established on the ridge under Iranian direction. From Beaufort Ridge, Hezbollah terrorists managed military and combat activities and carried out numerous attacks. The IDF has crossed the Litani River and expanded its operations against Hezbollah targets north of the river. The operation is currently expanding to additional areas. It would be recalled that Lebanon got independence from France on November 22, 1943, and in an interview with BFM TV on Sunday, the French Foreign Affairs Minister, Jean-Noël Barrot, stated that nothing can justify the prolongation of Israel's military operations in Lebanon and its increasingly deep occupation of Lebanese territory. This is a major mistake for Israel, he added. Barrett's statements come as the IDF confirmed it had taken control of Beaufort Castle in Lebanon, a position it had not held since withdrawing in May 2000. Beaufort was originally a French Crusader period castle in the region. In the same interview, Barrot also called for Iran and the US to reach a peace deal, describing the current situation as untenable. We feel the consequences of the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz on a daily basis, at the pump, and more generally with its impact on the global economy and on the French economy. So this has to stop, he stated. He also said that the planning work is advanced regarding the mission to guarantee freedom of movement through the Strait of Hormuz.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Information from the Office of the Special Advisor to the Nigerian President, Bayo Onanuga, has shown apparent strong indications that the federal government under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu may use the act of trumped-up allegation to harass, intimidate, arrest and detain one of the president anti-2027 re-election activists who is also the president and founder of the Ratel movements, Martins Vincent Otts aka VeryDarkMan, following a widely circulated acclaimed leaked telephone voice record of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wherein the president was portrayed to have made statements capable of causing anarchy in the country, instigating and inciting the people against the president in a manner that can collapse the government and cause uncontrollable deaths. This, the presidential spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga, seems to have wrongly or deliberately attributed the dissemination of the acclaimed leaked telephone voice record to VeryDarkMan in a tweet the presidential spokesperson issued via X social media platform at about 11 a.m. on Wednesday morning, which, the presidential spokesperson said, this VDM needs to face the weight of the law for being the conveyor and disseminator of a fake audio of President Tinubu. This is a clear case of an egregious abuse of the social media platform. A careful study of some news media reports over the acclaimed leaked telephone audio record shows some of the media attributed the dissemination and the origin of the acclaimed leaked telephone record to VeryDarkMan, but none of the media companies was able to satisfy the basic principles or standards of news writing and publishing, which requires the media companies to provide or state when and where VeryDarkMan disseminated such information, an action that shows there may be high-level conspiracy to arrest and keep the anti-government activist in a perpetual detention till after 2027 general elections with possible trumped-up allegations of treasonable count charges or alleged acts to endanger national security. For the purpose of clarity, trumped-up allegation, according to Cambridge Online Dictionary, it is an allegation that is deliberately based on false information so that someone will be accused of doing something wrong and punished. Our investigation indicates that a video published by VeryDarkMan via his Instagram account on Tuesday, May 26, 2026 about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2023 pre-election campaign promises, wherein the president had said if he does not give Nigerians stable power or electricity supply in his first 4 years in office, the people should not vote for him for the second time. The video published by VeryDarkMan while in China seems to be the one suspicious mischief makers altered and inserted the acclaimed leaked telephone voice record of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to create apparent false and misleading information capable of causing anarchy in the country with obvious intention to give the government the opportunity to harass, intimidate, arrest and detain the anti-government activist, VeryDarkMan till after the 2027 general elections. Verbatim, in quotes, Sahara reporters reported that the Nigerian presidential aide, Bayo Onanuga, has lashed out at social media influencer, Martins Vincent Otts, popularly known as VDM, over the circulation of what he described as a fake audio recording purportedly linked to President Bola Tinubu, insisting that the matter should attract legal consequences. In a statement issued on Wednesday, May 27, 2026, Onanuga accused VDM of abusing social media platforms through the dissemination of false information capable of misleading the public and damaging the image of the president. This VDM needs to face the weight of the law for being the conveyor and disseminator of a fake audio of President Tinubu. This is a clear case of an egregious abuse of the social media platform, Onanuga stated. The controversy followed a video posted earlier by Martins Vincent Otts, also known as VDM, in which he claimed to have obtained an audio recording allegedly featuring President Tinubu speaking on the country's political situation, insecurity, and the 2027 elections. Introducing the recording in the video, VDM said, "After this audio that I am about to play, I would ask if they cook Nigerians who will support Tinubu in 2027 or you guys are okay." The audio clip played in the video allegedly featured Tinubu making controversial remarks regarding attempts to remove him from office, insecurity in the southeast, and borrowing from the World Bank. In the purported recording, the voice alleged to be that of the president said, "They have been trying to take me out of the position but it's not possible. Mind you, I am winning this election. I do not care whatever is happening. Nigerians deserve it." The voice in the audio further stated, "Because when I was running as a president, they did not want me, now all of a sudden they want me to rescue them from insecurity." Another section of the recording allegedly quoted the president as saying, "I called Peter Obi to step down for me but he refused. I am not begging him again. I will do whatsoever in my mind and I will make sure the insecurity affects the people in Southeast more." The purported audio also contained comments about foreign loans and insecurity, claiming, "Listen, I am going to borrow more and more money from the World Bank. I won't like to stop this insecurity because if I do, how will our party be able to win elections? Think about it, even the loans I am taking is to fund them." However, Onanuga dismissed the audio as fabricated and accused VDM of deliberately spreading falsehood. The presidential aide maintained that the circulation of manipulated or unverified materials on social media poses serious dangers to public trust, national security, and democratic stability. The presidency has not indicated whether legal proceedings would immediately be initiated against the social media influencer. Martins Vincent is yet to also react to Bayo Onanuga's statement as of the time of filing this report. Sahara Reporter's news report ends in quotes.
See this next video I'm about to play. After you people watch it, we can't decide whether on a shrine they don't take cook on our mind. All the people who want support Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2027. We can't know whether they don't cook your mind. So you know go get sense. Or una dey okay.
They've been trying to take me out from the position, but it's not possible. And mind you, I'm winning this election. I don't care whatever is happening. Nigeria deserves it. Because when I was running as a president, they didn't wanted me. Now, all of a sudden, they want me to rescue them from insecurity. As of last week, I called Peter Obi to step down for me, but he refused. Now, I'm not begging him again. I will be whatsoever in my mind, and I will make sure the insecurity affects people in Southeast more. Listen, I am going to borrow more and more and more money from World Bank. Try to understand me. I wouldn't like to stop this insecurity because if I do, how will our party be able to raise funds to win elections? Think about it. Even the loans I'm taking is to fund them. Also, I have plan after I'm done with my position as a president.
You have failed. So talking about jazz, except if they use jazz, and even if they use jazz on Nigerians, time don't reach where they say you go tap yourself. You go wash your body again, make you understand, say, this man does not have anything to offer. Come 2027. Any other option is welcome. But for me, myself and I, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot offer us anything anymore. So it should go. It should go. It should go. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it should go. Peace and love. Don't.
I will talk on my mind. I will talk on my mind, bro. You no get head. You no get head. See that thing where they wear for neck? No, they wear for neck again. They do anything. No, they wear for. They don't go put jazz for them. Why people know they? You wear the gold shrine. You don't go put jazz for your neck.
All right. So talking about using jazz, I'm going to shrine. You see this next video I'm about to play. After you people watch it, we can't decide whether on a shrine they don't take cook on our mind. All the people who want support Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2027. We can't know whether they don't cook your mind. So you know go get sense. Or una dey okay.
Whichever way, by all means necessary, you must have electricity.
Okay.
And you will not pay for estimated bill anymore. A promise made will be a promise kept. If I can't keep the promise and I come back for second term, don't vote for me. That's the truth.
You heard him? This was when he was doing his campaign. He said the promise made will be a promise kept. That if he does not give Nigerians electricity, after 4 years, they should not vote for him. So it's not like I'm campaigning against him. I am putting his words against him. So there's no way we don't have electricity. As a matter of fact, let me even show you. For the very first time, since the inception, since the creation of Nigeria and the creation of Aso Rock, for the very first time, as you can see, Aso Rock to exit national grid by March 2026. Then look at this one. Aso Rock opting for 10 billion naira solar, questions president's belief in national grid. So as of today, this was in March, April, we did May. As of today, they don't abandon Aso Rock where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu they stay. Now solar that they use now. They don't abandon national grid. So whatever happen, no concern anybody. And to be very, very honest, in Nigeria of today, people don't even care about the light anymore. That's why people are opting out for solar. People they opt out for solar. Nah, they try that. Now power station when I carry come back now, at least where go help people. Now yeah, they bring come. Do you understand? People don't they give up. So you made a promise that if you cannot give electricity to Nigerians, they should not vote you in the coming term. So that is what Nigerians are going to follow. This is not say, oh, VeryDarkMan. No. I get a lot of your clips and everything you promise. You have failed. You have failed. So talking about jazz, except if they use jazz, and even if they use jazz on Nigerians, time don't reach where you say you go tap yourself. You go wash your body again, make you understand, say, this man does not have anything to offer come 2027. Any other option is welcome. But for me, myself and I, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot offer us anything anymore. So it should go. It should go. It should go. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it should go. Peace and love. Don't play.
Osazuwakan Radio, bringing you the news in a more digital way. Osazuwakan Radio, bringing you the news in a more digital way.